Today, we are going to be reacting to Disturbing Police Sketches and Facial Reconstructions Volume 1. Without forensic sketch artists using their knowledge to create a realistic facial anatomy of the suspect or missing person, police and the community would not know where to begin their search. But what happens when the person describing the suspect paints the picture of a monster only nightmares can manifest?
Oh my god! I think we found something!
And we're here to find out. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Zems, and welcome to the Crow's Nest. This video is by Took Too Much, so if you would like, make sure you swoop down to the description box, click on that link, go watch this video in its entirety, because I'm going to be pausing, stopping, and talking through the whole thing. On September 19, 1999, 3 underage girls were walking down the neighborhood street when they noticed a strange man driving past them multiple times and observing them. The vehicle drove near them one more time, but this time the man inside got out and approached one of the 10-year-old girls. "Where's the yard sale?" he asked. As the unnamed little girl began to respond, the man lunged at her and threw her over the shoulder, running back to his vehicle and throwing her into the front passenger seat. When she began to scream, he struck her and aimed a pistol at her head, telling her how he would pull the trigger if she kept making noise. Damn, man. He drove until he crossed the state lines, where he pulled over on the side of the road and sexually assaulted his victim. He then dropped her off of a random side of the street and drove away. The young victim was able to provide authorities with the exact location of the assault and gave them a description of the perp. Police released this sketch in hopes of identifying the man. Oh my goodness, bro. 18 years later, in the fall of 2018, DNA found at the scene was retested and the FBI found a match. Timothy D. Nelson, a prolific pedophile, was prosecuted and sentenced to 30 years. Number 2. On a sunny Colorado day, September 30th, 1952, a man on a hunting trip came across the charred and bludgeoned remains of an unknown woman under a burned 7-foot log. Oh my Jesus. Oh my God. With the extent of damage done to her face and body, authorities couldn't identify who she was. This clay reconstruction of what the victim could have looked like got released to the public. Oh my goodness. I don't think that's it's worth a shot, but I don't think that's a good, it's back then, this is a long time ago, but looking at this picture, that doesn't look like anybody that I know, right? But again, they made use of what they had to work with, and but hopefully they found out who she was and identified her, because looking at this, they could at least close their mouth and gave her a little bit of something to work with, because who walks around looking like that? But I don't know. Don't quote me on that. It's decent, but it is definitely creepy. Near her body were her belongings, and 20 feet away from the recovery site, a bloody 3-foot wooden stick. Authorities were unsure if she was bludgeoned before she got set on fire. She probably was. She has been dubbed Pirate Case Doe and has been identified for nearly 70 years. Guess what authorities believe she looked like? Okay, that's crazy, man. What fire can do to the body. Sheriff Bowman. The details behind the disappearance and death of Sheriff Bowman are obscure and grim. On November 26, 1989, authorities found her body dumped on the side of the road in Harris County, Texas. She was left unrecognizable, the top half of her face battered into jelly. Oh man, that's horrific. That's disgusting. Unable to reconstruct the top of her face, the artist drew Cheryl's hand covering her eyes, hoping that somebody recognized her rings. She was later identified as Cheryl Bowman. Jesus Christ, man. They said she turned her top half of her face into jelly. If you don't know what jelly looks like, or not, familiar with jelly, or you don't like jelly, just go grab some jelly from McDonald's, your refrigerator, your local cabinet. I don't know. Just go grab it and then go like this, bro. It was so horrific, bro, that they couldn't post a picture of what she could have looked like because it was so badly damaged. So whoever did that to her, bro, are sick. Ridiculous how really people on this earth walking around that's capable of doing things like that. It can be your neighbor, it can be your best friend. We've seen cases to where it was people's uncle. It does not matter, man. It's all around us and we'll never know. We probably walked past one. Ever been on the freeway and wonder, man, if somebody's being kidnapped right now, which car is it? Which car are they in? How would we know? That's why I think it's very crucial to pay attention to your surroundings, because you never know who you might save, or you could potentially save yourself. Wadada. In December 1988, police released a sketch of a suspect named Wadada. He'd hang around campus at the University of New Mexico, where he'd frequently ask students for money. He's a panhandler. On December 7, 1988, 17-year-old Sarah Beard was getting ready to head out of her apartment to campus and study for an upcoming test. Suddenly, she hears a knock on her door. It was Wadada, a familiar face that she'd been seeing around campus. He asked to borrow a paintbrush since he claimed to be an artist. She tells him where she keeps her paintbrushes, inviting him in. Why would you invite us? I mean, I don't know, man. Back then, you just don't say, you got a paintbrush? Yeah, sure, come on in, have a seat. Like, nah, bro, paintbrush, bro, you better take your ass to Michael's or something like that, bro, or Office Depot. What the hell? A paintbrush. Like, bro, I've seen you around campus asking for money, so maybe the familiar face kind of gave her that comfort, like, okay, I see this guy around a lot, you know, maybe if I let him in, you know, he's going to be chill, he's going to be cool, right? But my thing is, out of all doors, especially depending on where you're located at, let's say you're on the 3rd floor, right, and somebody knock on the door, excuse me, do you have some milk? Like, so you telling me you walked all the way to the 3rd floor to ask for some milk, right? All these 1st floor, you know, apartments and houses and stuff nearby, you come to the 3rd floor asking for milk? Like, no. Sarah turns to put her shoes on. Wadada sneaks from behind, puts a knife to her throat. He tells Sarah to remove her clothing and brutally beats and rapes her. Oh my goodness. Afterward, he begins to chant and forced her to chant with him, blaming her and making her apologize for allowing it to happen. In a despicable act of violence, he bashes the back of her skull with a hammer. A day later, worried that Sarah wasn't answering her phone all day, her mother decides to visit her off-campus apartment. She walks in and finds her daughter struggling to breathe. Did she survive? Miraculously, she survived, but had multiple skull and jaw fractures. Doctors feared she could never speak again, and the authorities needed a name, but Sarah made a speedy recovery. There you go, Sarah. Point his ass out. A month later, she was able to give police Wadada's name and physical features, the most noticeable feature being his deformed right hand, which resembled a claw. So he had arthritis. Wadada is still on the loose today. Bro, what? That's scary, man. This septic tank Sam. In 1979, Canadian authorities released this facial reconstruction of a man found deceased in a septic tank. For those of you that don't know, that's boo-boo. 2 years prior, a couple scavenging through their abandoned property were horrified when they saw a leg floating inside their septic tank. The body was found wrapped in a yellow bed sheet tightened with nylon rope. Medical examiners determined the cause of death to be from 2 gunshots to the head and chest. So it was execution style, so it was personal. But the examiners also determined that the person found inside the tank suffered extensively before dying. The body had signs of extreme torture, including severe burns and sexual mutilation. So they tortured him and then sexually assaulted him. The body was severely mutilated. It took months to determine the body was male. The suspect also made the mistake of dousing the body with quicklime, accidentally preserving him. Canadian authorities had trouble identifying who the person inside the tank was, dubbing him the septic tank Sam. Decades passed with zero leads on who the victim or the suspects were. They could have gave him a better name, you know, like maybe just like, hey, you know, Sam Doe or something like that, like Septic Sam. That's like Doo-Doo Sam. Like, you know, I don't want to be remembered as the dude that was found in a doo-doo tank. Like, I don't know. Just let me know if I'm tripping or if you guys wouldn't want that name. I actually found out recently that the CPR dummies was actually the remake of a French woman or something like that was found dead inside the ocean, and they used her face because she had a lovable face or something like that, and they used it to reconstruct the CPR thing to give people more confidence in order to practice the CPR sessions. Do your own research. That's what I read about. I don't know if it's true or not, but I wouldn't want that nickname. But as recently of June 29, 2021, DNA provided to a genetics lab revealed the identity of the body. His name was Gordon Edward Sanderson, and he was 26 years old. He looked like a cool dude. His beard was on point too. The suspects are presumed to be dead. Presumed, but we don't know. Well, that was it, guys. If you guys enjoyed this, man, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Go show your support that took too much. Swoop down to the description box, click on that link, and go watch this video in entirety because I was pausing, stopping, and talking through the whole thing. If you guys want to see more of these, man, let me know down in the comment section. If you guys have any recommendations, feel free to let me know, and I'll look into them. I greatly appreciate it. I want to start going back and forth between my gaming channel, so if you are interested in gaming content, man, make sure you go drop down as well and go hit that link and go subscribe and play Layers of Fear, and you guys can jump in that as well. But again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.